Sometimes, life seems to conspire to leave everything in silence, in emptiness. They try to move on, but there's something in their heart that never fades. No matter how much they try to distract themselves, the memories come back, the moments resurface, and that name, that face, insists on not leaving their mind. They find themselves staring at the phone, hoping for something that may never come. The weight of doubt about what could have been accompanies them, like a constant shadow. Their heart beats stronger when they remember, and butterflies flutter as they imagine what this person really thinks of them. There's a silence that hurts, a distance that seems insurmountable, but still, they feel that something is unfinished. Questions echo in their mind. Do they also think of me? Do they feel the same way? Uncertainty makes them a prisoner of their own thoughts. Deep down, all they want is an answer, a chance to understand. Time does not heal, as they say, it only teaches them to hide better what hurts. Memories do not disappear, they settle in some corner of their soul, ready to emerge at the most unexpected moment. And then that perfume, that music, that specific place. Everything comes back as if it were yesterday. It seems like destiny puts them in an endless cycle, where each step forward brings a tug backwards. They feel trapped, but they don't know how to break free. There are nights when sleep is interrupted by dreams that seem so real that they almost believe that reconciliation happened. They wake up with a racing heart, the bittersweet taste of something that wasn't real, but seemed to be. During the day, they try to keep busy to forget, but even so, distractions are not enough to fill the void. It's as if there's a part of them that only this person can access, and nothing else makes sense. And hope, that damn hope that keeps you connected to what could be. Even without concrete signs, they feel that there is something greater guiding this love. It seems like the universe is always sending small signs, coincidences that are hard to ignore. They try to rationalize, tell themselves that they are just coincidences, but their heart insists on believing that there is a deeper meaning. They feel that it is not over yet, that something is about to happen. The hardest part is dealing with the loneliness that arises in the midst of all this. They feel isolated, as if no one could understand what they are going through. And when they try to explain, the words do not seem enough to convey the depth of what they feel. They want to scream, but they know that it would not change anything. The silence coming from the other side is deafening, and each day seems heavier than the previous one. But why is it so hard to move on? Why does this love have such a hold on them? They wonder if they are weak, if they are stuck to something that no longer exists. But deep down, they know it is not just that. There is an intensity in this feeling that goes beyond the ordinary, something that transcends logic. Perhaps it is this force that keeps them connected, even when everything seems lost. They have tried everything to forget. Thrown away physical memories, changed their routine, surrounded themselves with new people. But nothing seems to be enough. It is as if that person is imprinted in their DNA, a part of who they are that cannot be erased. Every attempt to move on seems to bring a new reason to think about them again. And they ask themselves, why doesn't this end? There is a constant internal battle between the desire to move on and the will to fight for that love. They alternate between the pride that tells them to give up and the heart that begs to try again. This emotional roller coaster is exhausting, and they feel lost in the midst of it all. If only there was a manual for dealing with loves that do not fade, a magical formula to find peace. And meanwhile, life goes on, but they feel stuck. People around them continue their paths, while they are frozen in a moment that seems eternal. It's as if the world has changed its pace, but they couldn't keep up. The feeling of stagnation is suffocating, and they wonder how long it will last. The days drag on, and the missing doesn't give them a break. They find themselves wishing for simple things, a glance, a touch, an effortless conversation. But each wish brings with it the pain of knowing that, for now, it's impossible. The emptiness seems to grow every day, and they wonder if it will ever be filled. The missing is not just of moments, but of the person they are when they are with them. And then comes the guilt, the doubt. Could they have done something different? Was the mistake theirs? These thoughts consume them, and each memory brings new possibilities of what if. But deep down, they know that there are no easy answers. What happened has already happened, and what remains is dealing with the consequences. But what if there is still a chance? This question haunts them, keeps them awake at night. They wonder if it's worth taking the risk, if the fear of a new no can be overcome by the possibility of a yes. The indecision paralyzes them, and they feel like they are in a maze with no way out. What to do when everything seems so uncertain? The connection they feel with that person is unlike anything they have ever experienced. It's not just passion or attraction, it's something deeper, almost spiritual. It feels like the universe has put the two of them on the same path for a reason. But what is that reason? Why does it seem so difficult to find out? Looking back, they realize that the moments with that person were more than special. They were transformative. Somehow, they became a better version of themselves because of them. But now, without that person, they feel incomplete, like something inside them is broken. And then the doubt arises. Is love enough? Is simply loving each other sufficient to overcome all obstacles? They know they don't have all the answers, but they feel they need to try, that they can't let this end like this. Something inside them insists on fighting, even when logic says to give up. The angels whisper to them, reminding that nothing happens by chance. That perhaps, this period of separation is necessary for both to grow. But these words do not ease the pain of waiting, of uncertainty. They want to believe, but the wait is hard. Deep down, all they want is an answer. Something that ends this uncertainty, that brings clarity to what they are feeling. But until that happens, all that's left is to wait, to hope, to believe that the universe has a bigger plan. And that somehow, all of this will make sense in the end. They feel they are on the verge of something big, something that can change everything. But for that, they need to be ready. They need to believe that what is coming will be even greater than what has passed. Hope keeps them standing, even when everything seems to be falling apart. And it's this hope that deep down, keeps them going. Because they know, even though it's hard, that true love is worth it. And that perhaps, this seemingly unfinished love still has much to reveal. You feel like emotions are building up, like a dam about to overflow. There's no way to ignore the intensity of what's going on inside them. It's as if every attempt to avoid thoughts about that person only makes them stronger. They wonder how someone can occupy so much space in their mind, even when they try to move on. The weight of this is hard to carry, and the silence only amplifies the pain. The absence of that person has become a constant presence, a void that seems to take shape. No matter what they do or where they go, it seems like they are always coming back to the same point, the missing they feel. The little things of everyday life, which used to go unnoticed, have now become painful reminders. Every smile, every word said in the past, echoes in their memory like an unfinished melody. And it consumes them in a way they don't know how to explain. Sometimes they feel like they are trapped in an endless cycle of pain and hope. With every step towards a new beginning, something seems to pull them back. It's not just the desire to relive what was lost, but the feeling that there is something else waiting to be discovered. They try to convince themselves that it's time to move on, but there is a voice inside them that won't allow it. That voice insists that there is still more to this story, that something is about to happen. And what makes everything even harder is the uncertainty. They don't know what's going on in that person's mind, what feelings they hide. The fear of being alone in this love is overwhelming, and the lack of clarity only intensifies their doubts. They wonder if that person thinks of them as much as they think of them, or if they have moved on without looking back. This doubt is a double-edged sword. It keeps them connected, but it also hurts them. Meanwhile, time seems to play with them. The days drag on, and every minute without a sign of them feels like an eternity. But at the same time, they feel like they are racing against the clock, needing to act before it's too late. This sense of urgency keeps them awake at night, imagining scenarios and possibilities. What would they do if they had a chance to say everything they feel? Would that change anything? The signs from the universe keep appearing, as if they wanted to remind them that this story is not over yet. A specific song plays at the right moment, a message appears when they least expect it, and even dreams seem to bring answers. But do these signs really mean something, or are they just reflections of their desire? They try to interpret every detail, looking for some guidance, some confirmation that they are on the right path. They feel like there is something bigger at play, something that goes beyond the two of them. It seems like destiny is preparing them for something great, something that could change everything. But the weight is painful, and the weight of emotions is often too much to bear. They try to find strength, to remember that the angels are by their side, guiding each step. But even with this spiritual certainty, the pain of absence is real and constant. The moments they shared continue to live on in their memory, like a movie that never stops playing. Every smile, every touch, every word spoken seems etched in their heart. They try to focus on the present, but the past is like an anchor that holds them back. And yet, they don't want to let go of this anchor, because it is the only thing that connects them to that person. And then, there are days when they feel stronger, more determined to move forward. But even in those moments, something inside them remains connected to that story. They know they are capable of being happy alone, of building a new life. But their heart insists on going back to the same place, to the same person. And this contradiction leaves them in a constant state of inner conflict. The angels keep sending messages of hope, reminding that everything happens in the right time. But patience is a challenge, and they feel worn out by the waiting. It is difficult to maintain faith when everything seems stagnant, when there are no clear signs of progress. Still, they cling to the idea that the universe has a plan, that none of this is in vain. They wonder if this person also feels this connection, this invisible force that seems to unite them. Does this person also catch themselves thinking about them, reliving the moments they shared? Or have they already moved on, leaving everything behind? These questions are like thorns that hurt them, but they can't help asking. The loneliness they feel is a constant reminder of the void that this person left. But, at the same time, it is an opportunity to rediscover themselves, to strengthen. They realize that no matter how painful it is, this period of separation is necessary for their growth. The angels remind them that, before being ready for a reunion, they need to be at peace with themselves. They begin to realize that true love is not about possession or control, but about freedom. It is about allowing the other to be who they really are, while they also remain true to themselves. This realization brings some relief, but also raises new questions. How to balance the love they feel for this person with the love they must have for themselves. The connection they share seems to transcend time and space. It's as if there's an invisible thread that always brings them back to each other, no matter the distance. You feel like this love has a higher purpose, something that still needs to be revealed. But the wait is exhausting, and you wonder how much longer it will take. The angels keep whispering words of encouragement, reminding you that you are not alone. They ask you to trust the process, to believe that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. But sometimes, even that faith is hard to hold on to. You feel like you're walking in the dark, unsure where this path will lead you. You realize that despite all the pain, there is a strength within you that keeps you standing. This strength comes from the love you feel, but also from the hope of a better future. You know that, no matter what happens, this love has transformed you in profound ways. And that, in itself, is a blessing. Every day, you wonder what they would do if they knew everything you feel. Would they come to you, or would they continue to keep their distance? The fear of rejection stops you from taking the first step, but doubt gnaws at you from within. You feel like you're stuck in limbo, not knowing where to go. But even amidst all this uncertainty, there are moments of clarity, of hope. You realize that true love doesn't disappear, it just transforms. And perhaps, this transformation is exactly what both of you need to move forward. The angels remind you that love is a journey, not a destination. And that every step, no matter how difficult, is leading you to something greater. You feel like you're in the midst of a healing process, of growth, that will take you to a place of peace and fulfillment. And deep down, you know that everything will fall into place at the right moment. Because true love always finds a way. You try to find answers within them, but everything seems blurry, confusing. Every thought about that person is like an echo reverberating in their heart, bringing longing and questions. The love they feel is intense, yet, at the same time, full of uncertainties. There are days when it seems easier to ignore, to leave behind, but those moments are fleeting. The reality is that this feeling remains alive, pulsating within them. The angels whisper to them that love is like a flame. Sometimes it shines brightly, at other times, it just silently burns. But it never ceases to exist. They realize that, even in the most challenging moments, there is something unbreakable between them. It's as if that person is part of who they are, someone that destiny placed in their path for a greater reason. The idea of a higher purpose is both comforting and challenging at the same time. They begin to wonder, what is this separation trying to teach them? Perhaps it's about patience, about trusting the process, or even about rediscovering oneself. Every day without that person by their side feels like a test, an opportunity to grow in ways they never imagined. Still, the heart aches, and the wait seems endless. They look for signs that they are on the right path, but they are not always clear. The moments of doubt are the most difficult. They catch themselves wondering if they are just fantasizing, if they are holding on to something that will never be real. But deep down, there is a certainty that cannot be ignored. Something inside them insists that this love is different, that it is real, and that it still has much to offer. This intuition, this unwavering feeling, is what keeps them steadfast. With each memory that arises, they feel a mixture of joy and pain. Joy for having experienced something so special, pain for not being able to relive it in the present. It's as if each moment is a piece of a puzzle that is not yet complete. They feel that they need these pieces to understand the whole picture, but some are still out of reach. And this search for completeness is what drives them. The angels remind them that to love someone fully, one must first love themselves. They realize that this period of separation is also an opportunity to look within, to strengthen themselves. But that doesn't make things any easier. The heart still longs for that touch, that smile, that presence that seemed to give meaning to everything. They try to balance reason and emotion, but it's a constant battle. They begin to observe small changes in themselves. How they deal with longing, how they find strength even in the darkest moments. These changes are signs of growth, that they are becoming stronger, more resilient. But that doesn't mean the pain has disappeared. It's there, like a silent companion, reminding them of what was lost. With each passing day, they realize they are getting closer to something important, even if they don't know exactly what it is. There is a sense that this journey, painful as it may be, has a purpose. And this realization gives them the strength to continue, even when everything seems uncertain. The angels encourage them to trust the process, to believe that everything is unfolding as it should. They reflect on the decisions they have made, the words they have said, and wonder what could have been done differently. This self-reflection is painful, but also necessary. It helps them understand more about themselves, about what really matters. And at the same time, it reminds them that the past cannot be changed, only understood. It is a process of acceptance and learning. The moments of connection that they shared are still vivid in their mind. Every look, every gesture, every word spoken seems engraved in their soul. They know that these memories are precious, but they also feel that they don't want to live solely off of them. There is a deep desire to create new stories, to build something even more meaningful. But this requires courage and patience. They begin to realize that true love is not about perfection, but about authenticity. It's about accepting the other as they are, with all their flaws and imperfections. And that includes accepting themselves, with their own vulnerabilities. This understanding brings a sense of peace, even if momentary. It's a reminder that love is, above all, an act of courage. The signs from the universe continue to appear, like small lights on the path. They feel that they are there to guide them, to remind them that they are not alone. But interpreting these signs is not always easy. There are days when they seem clear, almost obvious, and others when everything seems like a big puzzle. But somehow, they know they are being guided. They wonder what this person is thinking, if they feel the same way. Their silence is a mystery, a void that they try to fill with assumptions. But the angels remind them that there is no way to know the truth without dialogue. They encourage them to have patience, to wait for the right moment. Because sometimes, silence is just a pause before something greater. They feel they are at a turning point, a crucial moment in their journey. There is a sense that something is about to change, something that can redefine everything. But this anticipation is accompanied by fear, by the fear that things may not turn out as they expect. The angels ask them to trust, to believe that what is to come will be for their own good. Every day is an opportunity to choose love, even if it is not reciprocated at the moment. They realize that true love requires nothing in return, it simply is. And this realization gives them strength to continue, to believe that what is to come will be even more beautiful. Because deep down, they know it's worth waiting for something real. Moments of doubt still appear, but are overcome by hope. They feel they are on the right path, even if it is full of obstacles. The angels remind them that each challenge is a lesson, an opportunity to grow. And they begin to see pain not as a burden, but as part of the transformation process. They allow themselves to dream of the future, of what could be. These dreams give them strength, reminding them that love is still possible. And even if the path is uncertain, they feel they are exactly where they should be. Because deep down, they know this love is not over. Each dawn brings a mix of hope and uncertainty. They feel that something is moving, but cannot identify what it is. It seems like the universe is orchestrating something, putting pieces in place for an outcome they do not yet comprehend. This sense of anticipation is both invigorating and exhausting. They know something important is about to happen, but the wait demands a patience that sometimes seems impossible to achieve. Days become a delicate dance between believing and doubting. They try to focus on other things, but thoughts of this person always find a way to invade their mind. It's as if they were an invisible magnet, always attracting their thoughts back. And meanwhile, the silence from them continues to echo, challenging their faith and resilience. They feel like they are walking in circles, but something inside them insists on moving forward. You begin to question what they are learning from all this. Maybe the universe is trying to teach them about strength, about self-confidence and love. But these teachings come accompanied by challenges that test their limits. There are moments when all they want is to give up, leave the past behind, and start anew. But with each attempt, something pulls them back, as if there is a greater truth that still needs to be revealed. What makes everything even more difficult are the memories. They come without warning, sometimes through a song, other times in such vivid dreams that seem real. These memories are at the same time a source of comfort and a source of pain. They remind them of what was, but also of what could have been. And deep down, they know they are not ready to let them go completely. The angels continue to send them signs, small reminders that they are on the right path. But interpreting these signs is not always easy. They wonder if they are seeing what is really there or just what they wish to see. Still, these moments of synchronicity are like beacons in the dark, guiding them through uncertainty. They encourage them to keep going, even when everything seems lost. The connection they feel with that person goes beyond the physical. It is something spiritual, almost palpable, as if there is an invisible thread that unites their souls. This perception gives them strength, but also raises questions. Why would the universe connect them in such a deep way, only to separate them later? This duality between closeness and distance is a mystery that consumes them. You try to find balance, trying to live in the present while honoring the past. But the heart doesn't follow logic, and longing is a constant reminder that something is missing. They know they can't live solely on memories, but they also can't completely detach. This emotional limbo is uncharted territory, and they feel like they are learning to navigate through it one day at a time. Moments of weakness come, inevitably. There are days when they feel overwhelmed, as if the weight of emotions is too much to bear. But even in those moments, there is a strength within them that refuses to give up. This strength comes from the love they feel, but also from the hope that all of this will lead to something greater. It's an internal battle, but they know they are growing with each challenge. They wonder if this person feels the same, if their nights are also filled with thoughts about them. Doubt is like a sharp blade, cutting through their hope. But the angels remind them that true love is not about controlling or knowing, but about trusting. They ask them to let go of what they cannot control and trust that what is theirs will find its way back to them. Introspection becomes their constant companion. They begin to examine their own patterns, choices, and even their fears. This process of self-reflection is uncomfortable but necessary. They realize that before they can reconnect with this person, they need to reconnect with themselves. And although this journey is solitary, it is also profoundly transformative. The silence that seemed so daunting at first begins to take on a new meaning. You realize that sometimes, silence is necessary to hear their own voice, to understand what they truly desire. This period of pause becomes an opportunity for growth, a chance to reassess their priorities and reaffirm their worth. The angels remind them that silence is not the end, but a space for transformation. They start to recognize the small advances they are making, even if they seem insignificant. Every moment of clarity, every decision to take care of themselves, is a step in the right direction. These small triumphs are signs that they are growing stronger, that they are becoming the person they need to be for what lies ahead. And this realization brings a sense of empowerment. The angels encourage them to keep the faith, even when doubt threatens to overtake them. They remind them that the journey of love is full of ups and downs, but that each obstacle is an opportunity for growth. They realize they are being prepared for something greater, something worth waiting for. And this understanding gives them the strength to keep going. They reflect on what it truly means to love someone. It's not just about being by that person's side, but about wanting the best for them, even from a distance. This kind of love is rare, but it is also the purest. It doesn't demand, it doesn't control, it just exists. And although it's hard to accept, they feel they are learning to love in a deeper way. Every day, they feel they are getting closer to something important. Maybe it's a reconnection with that person, or maybe it's a reconnection with themselves. Either way, they know they are in a process of transformation, of becoming the most authentic version of themselves. And this journey, although full of challenges, is also full of possibilities. You start to see time not as an enemy, but as an ally. Each passing day is an opportunity to learn, to grow, to prepare for what is to come. The angels remind you that time is a powerful tool, used by the universe to put everything in the right place. And this perception brings a sense of peace. Moments of doubt still arise, but they are overcome by hope. They feel that, regardless of what happens, this journey is transforming them in profound ways. And deep down, they know they are exactly where they should be. Because true love, the one that transcends time and circumstances, always finds a way. As time moves forward, they realize that they are on a journey that goes far beyond a simple reunion. Each challenge, each moment of uncertainty is sculpting a new version of them. It is not just about the love they feel for that person, but also about the love they are learning to feel for themselves. This growth is silent, but powerful, and they feel they are getting closer to something greater. It's as if the universe is setting the stage for an outcome that cannot yet be revealed. The angels continue to whisper words of encouragement, reminding that pain is temporary, but learning is eternal. They feel they are being guided by a greater force, something gently pushing them in the right direction. This feeling of being protected, even in the darkest moments, brings a peace that once seemed unattainable. They know that, no matter how difficult it is, they are on the right path. And this certainty is like a beacon in the midst of the storm. The connection they feel with that person has not diminished, but it has changed. They are no longer just a longing or a desperate missing, but a peaceful presence in their heart. They realize that even though not physically close, that person continues to be part of who they are. And this realization, although painful, is also comforting. Because it means that true love never fades away, it simply transforms. They reflect on everything that has happened, on every word spoken and every shared silence. These memories are like pieces of a puzzle, and they feel like they are starting to see the bigger picture. Perhaps this separation was necessary for both to grow, to become the people they need to be. And although it doesn't make things easier, it brings a sense of purpose that seemed missing before. The signs from the universe keep appearing, as reminders that they are not alone. A specific song plays at the right moment, a repeated number shows up when least expected, and even dreams seem to carry hidden messages. They begin to realize that these signs are gifts, small acts of care sent by the angels. They ask them to trust, to believe that everything is unfolding as it should. Introspection becomes a space for healing, a place where they can explore their own feelings without judgment. They start to wonder what they truly want, not just from this love, but from life as a whole. This self-reflection is an act of courage, a demonstration of self-love that strengthens them every day. They realize that before being ready for a reunion, they need to be whole within themselves. You allow themselves to dream about the future, but now those dreams are different. They are no longer based on fantasies or unrealistic expectations, but on concrete possibilities. They imagine a future where both, transformed by the lessons learned, can reconnect in a more authentic way. This thought brings hope, but also a sense of responsibility. Because they know that, for this to happen, both need to be willing to face their own fears. The angels remind you that true love requires patience, but also courage. It's not just about waiting, but about taking action when the right moment comes. They encourage you to keep taking care of themselves, to keep growing, because every step you take towards your own healing is also a step towards this love. This realization motivates you, gives you strength to continue, even when everything seems uncertain. They begin to realize that this person's silence is not necessarily a rejection, but a reflection of the internal battles they face. The angels ask you to look beyond the obvious, to see things with compassion. They remind you that everyone has their own time, their own pace, and that it is important to respect that. This understanding brings a lightness that once seemed impossible. Every day is an opportunity to choose love, but not just love for the other, but for themselves. They realize that this self-love does not diminish what they feel for the other person, but strengthens it. Because true love is not an exchange, but an expansion. It begins within you and radiates out into the world, reaching everyone around you. And this realization is a milestone in their journey. Moments of doubt still arise, but now they face them in a different way. Instead of resisting, they welcome them, understanding that they are also part of the process. They realize that pain is not a sign of weakness, but of transformation. And with each moment of vulnerability, they become stronger, more aware of their own resilience. They feel they are approaching a turning point, a moment that can change everything. There is an energy in the air, something that tells them that what is to come will be significant. This sense of anticipation is accompanied by an unexpected calm, as if they were finally at peace with what is beyond their control. The angels ask them to trust, to surrender to the flow of life, knowing that they are being taken care of. The memories that were once a source of pain have now become reminders of what is possible. They show them that, regardless of what happens, they are capable of feeling, of loving deeply. And this ability is a gift, something that connects them to the world in a unique way. They realize that in the end, love is always worth it, even when it comes with challenges. They begin to see the future not as a fixed destination, but as a series of possibilities. And this gives them freedom, because it means that nothing is completely determined. They can choose, they can create, they can transform. This freedom is both daunting and exciting, and they feel ready to embrace it. The angels remind them that everything is connected, that every choice they make has an impact on the universe. They ask them to continue acting with love, with intention, knowing that these choices are shaping their path. And this realization brings a sense of purpose that motivates them to keep going, even when the journey is difficult. You realize that true love is not about achieving a goal but about walking alongside someone, even when the paths are difficult. This realization is a moment of clarity, a point of light that illuminates your entire journey. You feel that, regardless of what happens, you are exactly where you should be. And deep in their heart, they know that the best is yet to come. Because true love, the kind that transcends time and circumstances, always finds a way.